Amazing. So I've seen a recent study that said 10% of Brits have to reset a password every single day. This is obviously a passwordless solution, and remembering 4 digits is typically easier than messy passwords, but occasionally you forget your PIN. And so while you breezily did a PIN reset at the top of this demo, could you now walk us through this specific verification
Yeah.
flow?
Yeah. So the important thing to keep in mind again, and we're going to say this a bunch of times during this demonstration, is that the operator can build in whatever user journeys they want. And what that also means in the case of something like a PIN reset, which you can read as a password reset, is that you can keep exactly the same flow. So if you're typically using an email verification or maybe some questions to the user before an email or an SMS passcode or whatever it is, whatever you use, you can use exactly that same thing. The only change is that when the user completes that verification correctly, that they're, instead of dropping into a password reset page, they're dropping into a point where they can choose a new PIN. So doing that right now, if I hit I forgot my PIN, what we're doing in this case is we're sending an email to the user with a passcode. And of course, that proves that I have the rights to this account. And it gives me the ability to then choose a new PIN, which is the same one, by the way. I'm still using the same PIN.
What I think was interesting about that particular reset as well is that because the device already knows your user ID, you didn't have to first prompt that in. It immediately activated this other verification process, and thus diminishing an extra step that you normally users would have to suffer through. So
Good point, Margaret.
super simple.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is definitely worth looking at again, because when the user enrolls their device, which again, they didn't notice they did that, but they have, it establishes their ID on that device, and it means something like that PIN reset. It automatically knows where we're going. So we don't have to ask the user to enter anything else in there.